Hi, welcome everyone. Am I audible? Yeah, thanks. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Deepika Singhal and I'm the community manager at Analytics Vidya. Analytics Vidya is the leading community of data scientists in India and across globe. Today, we are hosting a webinar on Can Non-Programmers Join Big Data and Data Science Roles, presented by Sujit Majumdar from Apex Academy. Sujit is a big data evangelist at Apex Academy and an alumni of ISB Hyderabad. He is currently assisting top management in using advanced analytics to build core strategies around data. Welcome, Sujit. Thank you for joining us. I'll just bring him on board.
So hi
Hi,
Deepika,
Sujit.
good evening. Is my voice audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Great, thanks a lot. So welcome everybody. It's great to see a lot of you being present today in today's session. So it's I know it's a working day and all of us are quite caught up for the upcoming long weekend. So it's great to see that you guys have made some time to understand this field and finally you have joined here. So thank you, Deepika. Thank you for the nice introduction provided. So Deepika, can I share my screen? It's 9 and maybe we would like to get started.
Sujit, we'll just start in 1 minute. I'll just launch one poll and then we may start. Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I actually forgot, Deepika. Can we have an experience poll, as in what is the kind of experience that we have in today's
Sure,
session?
I'll have that question
Yeah.
as well.
So as in like from 0 to 5 years, 5 to 10. So we can put it in buckets.
So I have it from less than 3 years, 3 to 5 years,
It's
and
okay.
greater
I
than
mean,
5
yeah,
years.
if you
Yeah?
have something ready, that's even better. Yeah. So guys, please use the poll. Could you please answer the poll? It'll be great.
I hope it's visible. So we have 3 questions, and I would like all the participants to answer.
Yeah, I can see, but I can't answer.
Okay, I've uh, not allowed polling for panelists.
Yeah. Yeah. So let us just check the poll. So for people who are waiting, we are just going through a small poll here. If you guys can just fill in all your
10
details
more
here.
seconds. Yeah, just 10 more seconds.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. We have the poll results with us. So most of us are from less than 3 years experience, and almost like 60% they are non-programmers. So I'll just end this poll and over to you, Suchit.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is nice. So we have almost 70% less than 3 years. Okay, that's good. Um, Non-programming, yeah, definitely. I mean, I expected this to be true. So we have most of the people who come from non-programming background, and a lot of people from AV. So great. So great, guys. So guys, before I get started with the session, there's one small thing that I would require from your end. Could you please quickly type in what technology or what stream are you working in, and probably you can write your designation or role. So if you guys can quickly write program manager and maybe your company name. Hadoop developer, okay. Informatica support role Thomson Reuters, great. TechM PM, okay. J2E TechM, telecom data analyst, okay. Siebel support, delivery manager, ETL, okay. System engineer, program analyst, okay. Operational excellence, okay. Veritas, admin, quality. Okay, so I see it's pretty diverse, and considering a lot of us here, we are mostly from a non-technical background. If I see, I have few technical folks, and then I see a AI research student. That's even better. So we have AI research students also. We have consultants, we have business development managers, we have product developers, mainframe, great. So we can have a very even and good mix of people. I see, though I think our polls we ended a little early because I see a lot of people have joined right now, but that's okay. So ideally, I feel that most of the people should be a little less than 3 years. So that's fair. So great. So let me do one thing. Let me share my screen. Once all of you can see my screen, just let me know if you can, if you are able to see my screen clear. So Deepika, I'll just share my screen.
Sure, yeah.
I think Deepika, you'll need to stop your sharing. Okay.
Can you share it now?
Yeah, let me try. No, I
Oh,
can't.
you
I can't stop. Yeah, I can't stop your sharing. Thanks. Okay. So,
you able to do that?
yeah. So give me a moment. I'll just share my screen. So once my screen is visible, just let me know. I'll be starting off with a small presentation. So are you able to see my presentation, everyone? Yes, great.
Yes.
Yeah. So Deepika, this chat window ideally, should I move it out? Is it like creating some kind of obstruction? Is it fine if I can maintain the chat window on the right side? Okay, I think Deepika is off grid. No problem. So, guys, just let me know if you face any challenge. If you're not able to see my screen, just let me know. So, anyways, so before I get started, as Deepika told, my name is Suchit Majumdar. I am the Chief Data Science Evangelist at UPX Academy. Okay. Okay, no problem. Great. So currently, we are helping a lot of people upskill themselves and get into this world of big data science. Okay, why do I call it big data science? Because it encompasses a lot of things. It encompasses big data. It encompasses data science. It also takes care of business analytics. So this is the whole gamut of applications which are necessary in the future. Even in today's world, they are very relevant, and in the coming future, they'll be even more important. So right now, if you we have one more session. I understand today's session is kind of a little small. The timing is it's just an hour session, maybe 45 minutes for me to speak, and then maybe we'll have a Q&A for 15-20 minutes. So I would request you to hold on to your questions till the end of the session because it'll be really difficult for me to complete the discussion in form of presentation. So let me just go through the presentation first, and then let us catch up for small Q&A session. So 19th August, we have a info session. If in case you feel you want a little more in-depth details about this whole program, you can always refer back to any article on analytics with. You'll see this small banner of UPX Academy. If you click on it, it's a free info session that we are doing this coming Saturday. You'll be directed to this page UPX. This is the registration page. So please register so that if you have any further queries, also you can always come to that session and understand about all these things. Okay. Now let us go forward. So this is Manav will be taking on Saturday. So let's see. So why are we discussion? Why do we have this discussion today? Why is it so important for us today to understand what is going on in this big data world? So a lot of buzz is being created off late. I mean, people have been calling data science as the sexiest job in the 21st century. McKinsey says we'll be falling short of say 140,000 to 190,000 data scientists alone in US. Okay, then Glassdoor says it's kind of the most number of hires are in this particular segment. So people in data science, it's kind of there's a lack of people in this field, and this is the most important job opening right now. Okay, and Sundar Pichai from Google, he said that we are moving from a mobile first. So few days back, mobile was really important, but today, if you see, mobile has taken the backbench. But what has really evolved over a period is artificial intelligence. So in today's world, AI is the most important thing as per any top business leader. And why is it so? It is pretty obvious. To stay competitive in this world, we need to have machines evolving. We need to remove a lot of work which human beings are doing and put it over to machines, because these are repetitive, monotonous work. And that's the reason why these technologies are getting so much of a traction and attention from people. So let me move forward. So maybe if all of you are really interested, you can just have this. You can watch this video on our YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, just log into our YouTube channel. It's given below. There's a URL. Okay, so you can actually log into YouTube and search for UPX Academy. You'll be directed to the YouTube channel. In this, make it a point you watch this video by Sandeep Tompala. So we had invited Sandeep Tompala a few months back to speak about this particular domain, to speak about what is happening in this world of big data, data science, and business analytics. So Sandeep Tompala helped set up this entire analytics division for Vodafone. So he was the one who got it up and running. So in a short span of time, they started realizing so much of gains and so much of profit with these technologies that they had to move an entire team from one location to another location just for the sake that they were not finding ample number of people, the right kind of people they were not finding. So that's how these technologies are becoming hot in today's world. Before you actually come to know what kind of input it has given, the management has already realized a lot of value, and they'll ask you to keep on working more, dig more deep. That's what. So the further you dig, the more gold you're going to get. So ideally, these are few things which are really like catchy, eye catchy, and people kind of get distracted in this world of all buzzwords. So let us make today's agenda a little simple and try to come about why is all these things such a hype, one, and two, if I have to get into these fields in these technologies, what should I do? Okay, so there's a lot of buzz around. So one big question that all of you should be asking to yourself is, how should I, and if at all I should think of getting into this particular domain or field? Okay, that's the biggest question that everybody should understand themselves. So even before coming up with the idea of jumping into a new field altogether, you need to first dig a little deeper into the field and understand, are you at all cut out for this particular field? Okay, so let's see here. In today's agenda, what are we going to do is, I'll first simplify what is big data, data science. I'll give all of you a holistic overview as to what these things have to offer. Okay, then I'll probably discuss a little bit about Python. Okay, and the reason I'll show you at the end of the session when we do a very nice hands-on. Okay, the hands-on will be really important, okay, for us to understand and accept how Python can contribute to your understanding of data. Okay, so we'll do a small exercise at the end of the session which will be pretty simple, pretty easy, but pretty intuitive. I mean, it's very important from our perspective to understand why at all do we understand data in this form. Okay, then the third agenda is like, I'll be along with Python, along with big data, data science, I'll be also giving you a brief as to what is the kind of programming depth that is required in say big data or data science. Okay, fourth, I'll be speaking about a simple, powerful language, Python. So in this before I get on to the hands-on, I'll be giving you a brief idea about why Python is so popular. And it's not about, I mean, a lot of you might feel that maybe it's trying to sell Python. That's not the case. These are just tools. So one thing I keep telling people, I've seen a lot of people asking the same question over and over and over again without understanding the crux of the story. People ask very often, should I learn R? Should I learn SAS? Should I learn SPSS? Should I learn Python? Should I learn Java? Should I learn this? Should I learn that? But end of the day, what are you asking? All of you are asking nothing but it's just tools that you want to understand. Now, a tool does not mean something unless there's a logic underlying the tool. So we need to understand, is learning 10,000 tools really important, or is learning the logic underlying more important, more relevant? So that is something which I keep asking everybody. Are you interested in learning 10 tools, or are you interested in learning the logic? So if you understand the logic, tools are just a means to achieve your end goal. So tools shouldn't be your biggest concern. Okay. So make it a point, if you're learning something new, do not get deviated or distracted in this buzzwords world, in this complex world where you have 10,000 people speaking 10,000 things. So rather focus on simple things first. Okay. Learn simple things because you can learn it faster. One. Second is, using simple things, learn the logic, understand the crux of the story, understand the skeletal or the framework of the whole domain. If you are thorough with that, tools you can learn in no time. Tools is not the bigger deal. The bigger deal is, do you at all understand your data properly? If you understand, then you know what to do with the data. So that is why we keep pushing people that please do not get distracted in these sense that, should I learn SPSS, should I learn SAS, should I learn this, should I learn that? So there are 10,000 things in the market that you can learn. I can list you out some 100 tools that you can learn, but will that really solve the purpose? No. What will solve the purpose is to understand, how do I use it? Okay. I mean, what is the purpose of these tools? There's something beyond that. So you need to understand what is the logic underlying. Okay. And I'll quickly cover as to people who come from non-technical background. So today we saw in the chat window when we discussed about what kind of background do we all come from. So I got a fair mix of people, but I saw mostly non-programmers, and that's pretty obvious because the session is about non-programmers. So let us go ahead slowly. But for the programmers, I do have a little bit of discussion that we'll be doing about big data, and then Python. Obviously, programmers would obviously appreciate the power of Python. So for non-programmers, let's see what we can do. So the whole story is focused towards the non-programmer. So let us go step by step. Let us go slow, and let us try to cover as much as slides possible for this 45-minute session. But after that, I'll open it up for Q&A. But in between, I want to show all of you the power of analytics using these language or using Python. Okay, so I'll make it simple for everybody to understand. It'll be intuitive. It shouldn't be too difficult for people to understand. So let us see slowly but steadily what we have to offer in today's session. So as we discussed today, we saw a lot of people who come from program management, project management side. People are coming from quality software testing, SAP. I had few people from consulting, solutioning. A lot of you might also be running your own businesses. Okay. And finally, there are many people today, just for the sake of moving into this new world of analytics, they would like to attend. They have come here to attend the session. So let's see what is so important that people with these backgrounds have. Okay, that will help them move into this field. So ideally, I would say every person who's attending today's session, okay, you have done analytics, whether you know it or you don't. Okay, can anybody tell me what kind of analytics have you guys done in your life? Something which everybody has done. So especially to the freshers, people, I see that a lot of people less than 3 years. So for people who are less than 3 years, can you guys tell me if you understand the term analytics? So if you understand what is analytics, then tell me, give me an example. So Tarun says simple, very good. addition, subtraction is fine, but can you give me a simple example? I just want a simple example that you guys have used analytics in your day-to-day life. College selection could be one, very good. Yeah, cricket, wonderful dashboard, okay, but I want an example. Monthly budget, that's what I was looking for. Sanjay has given us the right answer. I have pocket money when I'm a student, right? And that's fixed. My dad won't give me anything more than that. So how do you spread your money across so that you can, yeah, you can spend it in the right way and you do not overspend, right? So in our day-to-day lives, okay, in our day-to-day lives, we all are analysts. So understand this very simply. Nobody out here is a person who's not analyzed anything. Okay, analysis is what we have been doing across all throughout our life. Okay, now having said that, there are things which are beyond that. I mean, I can't expect that in college I used to calculate my money, my pocket money, and that is good for me to get land a job in analytics role. But definitely not. The day-to-day analytics that we do, okay, it's pretty simple. It's not too complex. Okay, it's pretty simple maths. And I know if I have 2000 rupees for the full month, I know how to spend it across the month. Okay, so there you don't have to apply a little more scientific methods. Okay, it's just very simple method of splitting your money across days and across things that you want to buy. But when it comes to an organizational level, so a level where people expect money to be spent in a much more matured way, okay, do you think your college college techniques or your school techniques might work here? Definitely not. Now you have to become a little more scientific. Okay, so if you got to be scientific in understanding how this particular data is going to help the organization, you need to have a good base foundation. You got to have a good foundation in few subjects. Okay, the first subject would be, say, Excel. A lot of you have already been doing it in Excel. Okay, so if you have not worked on Excel, try doing computations on Excel. So first, ideally we say keep it simple. So when you know what is Excel, when you have used Excel, it is very easy for you to get started. Okay, whatever calculations you did, say in calculator or in any other way, get it onto Excel and start understanding. That is step one. Okay, so first get comfortable with the environment that you know. So Excel is something which most of us already know. Okay, so first get everything on Excel and do some kind of computation. Now in a company, the biggest thing is the biggest asset for today. Can anybody tell me what is the biggest asset that companies have today? Okay, so apart from employees is taken. Okay, data. Okay, so today, why is Google such an important company? Why is Microsoft such an important company? Why is Amazon such an important company? Speak of any good big company, why are they important? Tesla being a company much smaller than its competitors, but its valuation is much higher than its competitors. Why? Because they have enormous amount of data. They know everything about the users. Facebook is one of the biggest platform where data is collected in huge scale. Okay, and it's also said that Facebook knows you better than a lot of people know you. Your friends know you. So ideally, Facebook is collecting so much of data about you that today Facebook can tell much more things about you compared to your friends. Okay, so in such kind of scenario where you have enormous amount of data, okay, your simple Excel as a tool may not work out. Your simple mathematical computations may not work out. Okay, there comes in one major important field that is going to help you make knowledgeable decisions, that is statistics. Okay, so along with the idea of what data has, okay, to contribute, you would need to plug in statistics. So once you plug in statistics with the data that you have, okay, now you get a better understanding of your data. Once you get a better understanding of your data, comes in all these players, say program managers, project managers, software testing people, SAP consulting people. you all carry something which is very valuable. Can anybody tell me what is so valuable about all these people who come from non-programming background? Yes, experience. Tarun is absolutely right. All of you carry experience, and that brings in domain. Okay, business knowledge, domain knowledge, experience. I know statistics, I know Excel, I know 10,000 tools, but what am I going to do with it? Somebody has to guide me. Okay, and that's where people who come from non-technical background, they have a heavy focus on. So today, if somebody is handling project management, okay, so for a project management person, they need to run with a lot of data as to what is the kind of customer satisfaction that is going on with their product. So we have product management also. So if you are one of the project managers or product managers, you ought to be the owner of the product. You have to know your product in and out. But even before that, you should know your customers very well. Now, if it's a product like Surf Excel, think about the number of people who are going to use it. Think about the kind of application that you have to think from your head. Okay, the kind of application that you have to think to figure out valuable insights from the data that will support your product. Okay, so day in day out, I mean, if you are from QA, okay, if you come from QA background, now you can always say that. So I used to work for capital markets. So we had brokerage firms. Okay, they used to do trading. Now the trading was executed by say brokers. Okay, and we would call them asset managers. Now asset managers, what these guys used to do is they used to provide service to people. Now if they are providing service, okay, they are providing one service, they should get commission for that. They should get payment for that. So we had different modules which the QA people used to test to ensure that the commissions are placed right properly. Now, if QA folks are good in analytics, okay, they can run analytics on different systems. So system A, system B, system C, and try to figure out from that data if all the systems are in sync. Okay, because if the systems are not in sync, what will happen? Somebody is going to lose out money. They are the brokers, they are the asset managers. So rather than just running through options or the product that you have been given for testing, you can go one step further in validating the product across different implementation. So product might have implementation A, B, C. So there might be different modules. So one module is capturing the data from customers. Second module is processing that data. Third module is paying the money to the brokers. Now you need to ensure that all these three systems are performing in sync. Okay, and that's where probably analytics can be applied. So you think of things. I mean, since you guys come from a non-technical background, you have that vision, you have that horizon of thinking beyond coding. Okay, coding is just a platform to get you help. Okay, but what is more important is how do I apply it? And that's where people who come from non-programming backgrounds with such profiles, they can benefit a lot. Okay, they know what they need to do with the data. If I have customer data, the project manager knows that I expect these things from the customers. Figure out from the data, is it right or wrong? See if people are aligned to it. See if customers are aligned to it. Do they appreciate our product? Are the reviews above 3.5? If it is not, then I should think beyond that. What do I need to do next? Okay, so analytics in itself is a huge field, and people who come from non-programming backgrounds, the first step in this world of data science should be analytics. Okay, that is pretty much a clear-cut output for them. So let me go forward. I'll discuss about analytics a little more when once we cover data science. But first, for the techies who are present in today's session, people who like coding. So people who often code and their job, day-to-day job involves them to code. So even before we come into the world of data science, analytics, or anything you per se, I mean, you say anything, before even getting into that field, what is the most important thing before getting into data science? Can anybody tell me what is so important that we need before we get into data science? So in terms of raw materials, data, that's the answer. So people are saying laptop and whatnot, but no, the answer is data. So you should have a good collection of data. Now, if you need to have a good collection of data, there was a time when data was not really huge. Speak about years before 1994. So before 1994, what was so special in 1994? Can anybody tell me? What's so significant about the year 1994? WWW. Sagar is absolutely right. Internet. Okay. The internet was opened up for the public. And Deepak also, okay, he was born that year. So that's great. So lucky you, Deepak. And the internet and you both were born in the same year. So internet was made public in 94. So once it was made public, what happened? People got connected. And the more people got connected, the more data started flowing in. And that's where people realized that now is the time to collect that data. I have set up a medium where people can start contributing, but I have to set up an environment where I can not only help people contribute, but I need to capture it. So that capturing mechanism was brought about by big data technologies, and that's where Hadoop was built. Okay, Hadoop was formed, and it came out of a research paper in Google. Google file system was what the research paper was all about. And the following year, there was a small that was one more research paper on MapReduce, which was integrated later on into a implementation at Yahoo by they called the product as Hadoop. Okay, so people who come from programming background, now if you like technology, if you like coding, if you want to keep yourself updated with the latest technology in this world, okay, the biggest contribution that today's world, IT world, has is from technologies which are related to big data. So big data has Hadoop. Okay, within Hadoop you need to code MapReduce. Okay, that can be done say Java and Python. Okay, then later on, after a few years, people realized that having too many tools is not working out for them. So ideally they wanted a little lesser number of tools, and that's where Spark came in. It integrated everything onto their platform, and using Spark, today you can do whatnot. You can store data, you can retrieve data, you can process data, you can do machine learning on the data, you can do presentations on the data, you can do visualization. So there are a lot of things that can be done in Spark alone today. Ideally, few years back it wasn't possible because we had to learn a lot many more tools to do those, but today Spark has integrated everything into one platform, and you are free to use Spark to do a lot of things using that big data that you have. Okay, Hadoop helps you store that data, Spark helps you process that data. Okay, ideally Spark can run standalone also, but Hadoop is the most common way of storing enormous amount of data. So if you want to store enormous amount of data, you should know how to store it. So if you got to know how to store it, you got to know big data technologies. So people coming from technical background, please do not overlook this particular field, because this is really relevant right now. It is really important, and it's good if you are already in this field. If not, at least be in touch with this field. Figure out any synergies between what you are doing currently and this field. So maybe in future you would like to work in these technologies, because these technologies are going to spread rapidly, and it's already started spreading. So I spoke about big data. Now I speak about data science and a subfield within data science, which I would probably call it. Probably I would call it as a child. It's a natural extension, but ideally business analytics has come before, much before. I mean, data science is the term that is coined off late, but business analytics has been used for years altogether. Okay, but right now data science is encompassing, or it's like the superset of this whole world. Okay, so if you want to get into data science, let us be really clear about these things. If you really are interested in data science, you want to get into data science, you want to create a career in data science, these three things are really important. One is you got to know coding. Okay, you got to be good in coding, and that's something which happens with practice. You got to be good in maths and statistics. Okay, ideally to get started, what we have done in our say engineering maths, okay, or say what we have done till class 11 12, That should be fair enough for you to get started. But this is a route that you are going to pre-plan. Okay, nobody becomes a data scientist overnight. Nobody becomes a data scientist in 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, or a year. I can't say that people will become a data scientist in a year. It depends on what contribution do you make as a student of this field. If you think you are fast, you can spend a lot of time, you can come up with good insights, you can come up with a lot of contribution in this field. You never know, you might become a data scientist much earlier. But then you should have a continuous contribution in this field and a continuous hands-on practice. So a practice not in terms of just reading computer science articles or reading maths and statistics, but you got to do things by yourself. You got to do projects. Okay. And finally, there's this one particular thing which I wouldn't call as the make or break criteria right away, because this is something which people gain out of experience. This is called as subject matter expertise. Okay. So you got to have subject matter expertise, computer science, maths and statistics, these three in your kitty or your portfolio to ensure that you are on the path to become a data scientist. Subject matter, why I say, is not the make or break criteria. It's because people with lesser number of years of experience are really good in computer science and mathematics. Okay, they can pick up machine learning. If you see in this part, they can pick up machine learning much faster than people who come from non-programming, or say after they have worked for a few years in the industry, they find it a little difficult to catch up on this pretty fast. Okay, but ideally these people need the support of somebody who understands the data, and that's why data science is called as a teamsman game. Okay, it's a team's game. No one person can run a data science project alone. Unlike any other field where you call people as individual contributors, data science, you just cannot have ICs doing data science. You need team people. You need more than one person to execute a data science project. So that's why ideally we say having two skills good enough, okay, should be a great platform to you get started into this field of data science. Okay. Now, having said that, now data science ideally has, I would say, it has two ways to go about it. Okay, it has two ways to go about. So you learn, say, R, Python, Tableau, Excel, whatever you learn. Okay, these are the tools that you learn. After that, you learn concepts which are statistics, okay, and say college algebra. After that, you do few projects on analyzing the data. Then your route is oriented towards business or data analytics. Okay, the route is pretty simple. You start with few tools which are essential, then get into the concepts which are more important. What I said at the start of the session, focusing on too many tools is not as relevant as understanding the concepts. Concepts would any day outbeat tools. So you should know your concepts in and out. Where are these concepts applicable? How are they applicable? These are few things you only learn when you study them. So you got to study all these concepts. You got to put in a lot of effort to know where it is used. Okay, but after knowing it, after getting a overview or getting some kind of a knowledge or insights about these fields, one very important thing is, are you applying it? I can read numerous books, but if I don't apply it, then what is the use of reading those books? So you got to apply. You got to do a lot of projects. Now, few great platform. I think AV is one in itself is a great platform where you can apply Kaggle. I hope all of you have heard about Kaggle. Kaggle is one more such great platform where you get abundant data. For every data, you don't need to start with machine learning. What you can do is analyze the data. Think yourself as an analyst, pick up any data set. Okay, if you understand that domain, try to dig into the data or pick up any data which is close to your domain. Start digging into that data, figure out good analytic stuffs. Okay, figure out what you can do with that data. Okay, so you got to do these things over and over and again, and you got to project yourself. Okay, I might have done a lot of projects, but how would the world know about it? So that is one very important aspect where a lot of people don't realize. I am really good in Python. Will you hire me? That is the first question. But how would I know you're good or you're bad? I can only know once you have applied it somewhere, once you have something tangible to show me. So why not create a pet project, a pet website? So you create a website where you have done some pet projects, you display what you have done in it. Okay, you can contribute back to Kaggle. In Kaggle also, for analyzing data also, people know you. They come to see how good work you have done. Okay, so you have to make your way into this world. The world is not going to come and serve you everything on a platter. This is a world which is growing. Even the recruiters are not themselves sure what is that they need. Okay, so ideally you would want to do all these things, but at the same time you got to show it to people. You just cannot keep it to yourself. Okay, now if you want to go further, now this was only on the part of understanding and analyzing the data. If you want to go a little further, if you want to dig a little deeper, what do you need to do? You want your machines to work for you. Okay, so today so I see somebody is asking for example. So let's Vibe is asking for an example. So let's put a very simple example forward, and I want all of you to contribute to the answer. So let's put this example forward, and at the end of the example, I'm pretty sure you guys will be able to understand what is data analytics and what is data science. Okay, now data analytics, till now what we discussed was if you are going to come up with some insight and convey it to your management. So that is one simple example of data analytics or business analytics. Now, how do you understand the difference between business analytics and data science? So, or I would rather call it machine learning. Okay, I think Vibe would probably he wants to call it as machine learning. So let's understand what the difference between simple analytics and machine learning. So let's say you guys are working for Amazon. Now, suppose Amazon is selling iPhone. Okay, Amazon sells iPhone. What do you see below the page which displays iPhone? Just below the iPhone, you see something. Can you guys tell me what is that image that we see below the iPhone? Just after they show you it's recommendation. Very good, Divakar. Suggestions, recommendations, wonderful. So ideally, there's an iPhone that a person is buying. Okay, so I sitting in say Hyderabad, I'm going to buy an iPhone. So what is the most common recommendation? They'll send a iPhone cover. Now suppose in Hyderabad people like black cover very frequently. People buy black cover when they're buying an iPhone. Okay, so ideally when I go to buy an iPhone, what is the kind of recommendation the Amazon website should do? They should recommend me the black cover. Absolutely, very good, Taru. So are you guys all I mean, are you guys with me on this? I hope all of you are with me on this. Till here it's pretty simple, right? Wonderful. Now tell me, slowly but steadily, okay, slowly but steadily, people have started liking a white cover in the market. Though I am showing them the black cover every time somebody is buying an iPhone, there's a new cover which is white in color and people have started liking it. Okay, so ideally after certain point of time, would Amazon still show the black cover? Can you guys help me with the answer? No. So why wouldn't they recommend me black after some time? Because, so why aren't they recommending? It's users' preference. They keep changing, right? They keep changing. Very good. So people have started liking the white cover more than the black cover. So the machine has to start giving recommendations on the white cover and not the black cover. Okay, so ideally the first recommendation that comes in is based on the population maximum. I mean, it's like what is the majority liking? Based on that recommendation comes in. Okay, so now tell me one thing. If I make a product manager or a product person sit in Hyderabad office and say, please monitor the likeliness of people buying white cover and buying iPhone and recommending them a white cover. So people who are buying iPhone, make sure they are recommended white cover. After a few days, what does this person need to do? When people start liking black cover, this person has to change all the fields and change the recommendation to black cover. Okay, that's one way to do it. Are you guys with me on this? Can they do it in this way? Make a person sit in Amazon office, and whenever he sees that people, so you're doing simple analytics, you're seeing that most of the people are now stopped buying black cover, they are buying the white cover. And that's simple analytics. You can make this person sit and do that, right? So all of you guys with me on this? So I see a lot of yeses. But humans can make it absolutely true. But ideally, this is one of the way. This is one of the way. Okay. Now tell me, how many products did we discuss right now? One product and a recommended product. So ideally, one major, one minor. So two products. How many products does Amazon have on its website? Millions of products. How many recommendations does these million products have? They might have billions of recommendations. Okay. Now, taste of people in Hyderabad, is it same as taste of people in California? No. So what is the permutation combination that we are looking forward to? Can anybody tell me how many people I need to hire to make sure I can monitor every corner of this world for all the permutation and combination of, ideally, I mean the whole world, even if I employ them, they will fall short of it, right? Can I have human beings do everything? No, they can't. It is impossible to monitor these things at such a scale, right? So what we need to do is, okay, we need to hand it over to the machines. The machines are faster in this. They can process the likelihood of people purchasing something or the other thing much faster than human beings. The moment they say it has crossed a threshold, say now 60% people are buying the white cover instead of buying the black cover, the machine automatically changes the recommendation. And this is being done for millions of products and billions of recommendations. And that's where machine learning comes in. Okay, so have this clarity, I mean, have this kind of a clarity within yourselves too, that where analytics is applicable, where machine learning is applicable. When you want to just justify business, you would want analytics where people can think after seeing a limited amount of data. Okay, but if you have unlimited data or a huge amount of data and you want your machines to think, it's not exactly machines are thinking, but it's like you are giving machines a way to think, then you would get into the field of deeper into the field of data science, where comes in machine learning and deep learning. Okay, so I hope I was able to clear the difference between business analytics or data analytics versus machine learning. Okay, so it only comes into play when humans want to offload the work to the machines, because it is not possible for human beings to do that. Today, why are these companies so big? Why is Amazon so big? Why is Google so big? That's only because they are able to capture every emotion of a customer. They are able to capture every data point that you would want or you can think of. They are able to capture it and give it a direction. Okay, so thank you guys. Yeah, so machines are much better in doing that compared to human beings. Okay, so there are two fields which ideally can bifurcate from data science within the data science domain. If you are more concerned about coming up with business insights, okay, you would want to move into the business or data analytics function. If you want to get into the other part of the story where the machines will work for you, you want your website to automatically recommend the black cover the moment people stop buying the white cover, then you might want to look into machine learning, okay, statistical modeling and a lot more things, but these things are also applicable in analytics. So let's say machine learning and deep learning is what we would like to do, and that will lead us to the way of data scientist. Okay, and that's where we would be head to data scientist. So ideally, I hope you guys understand the superset would be data science. Within that, a small part is when you're dealing with a limited amount of data to make business decisions. Okay, and that's where data science comes in. Business analytics comes in. It's a smaller set. It's a smaller set within the bigger world. But this is very important from a business perspective. You need to work really hard as managers or as leaders in a company. Okay, you need to work hard on few things, which is called as strategy. You do strategies, but what are these strategies derived from? They are derived from the understanding from the data, the past data. Okay, and using the past data, you can also predict the future. So these are all things which add value directly to the business. As humans, I analyze, I generate reports, and I communicate to my management. That's where business analytics comes in. And in data science, you got to make your machines work by using machine learning and deep learning. Okay, so we'll not dig into the definitions of machine learning and deep learning because it's very easy. Okay, and yes, Divakar has told a very good important point, which is you got to be a good storyteller if you are in this particular field of business analytics. You should first see your data, derive insights from your data, and tell a good story around that. I just cannot speak to my management by showing them numbers. Okay, I can't just open an Excel sheet and say this is what I found. You got to come up with insights. It's called as actionable insights. The word is actionable insights that you need to figure out from the data before you can go and speak to your management. So this is what business analytics and data science world is all about. And definitely people who are coming from non-technical background, ideally the first step in this world should be in the business analytics part. But yes, if you like coding, if you kind of appreciate coding and you want to dig further, you want to make the machine smarter, definitely you can go ahead with the machine learning part. Okay, so I would leave it open for all of you guys to think on it, because this is one thing which you got to think as an individual and figure out what excites you, what interests you. Okay, so that's something which I leave to you. Why do I speak about Python? Let's see. So Python is just one of the tools. Okay, and at UPX Academy we kind of love Python. Okay, the reason of it, I'll just show it to you in this slide. So I have really fancy slides. It's just kind of like a lot of animations. So okay, so why? Yeah, so Divakar absolutely right. So Divakar says you got to be master in one and then move to the other. So ideally start with something which you can understand, you can relate to. You don't need to jump into everything because others are doing it. Rather be really smart and do something which you think is possible for you. So anyway, look at this field. Now Python, why we put a lot of stress on Python is in today's world, you speak about any company, any big company, YouTube, Dropbox, Google, Quora, Spotify, Reddit, Pinterest, you name a company, they are running their products on Python. They have developed products on Python. Python is it's so important today. The entire world, the industry is running on Python. Okay, why? So anybody work in Python? Do we have? Yes. Yeah. So we have a lot of people already working on Python. So why are they all working on Python or R? I mean, I would still say R is a little bit difficult than Python, but that's something which people can debate. But Python, why is it so famous in the industry today? It's because of these things. Python is easy to learn. It's more like a broken English language. Okay. So people who come from non-programming background, they shouldn't be afraid of this language, because if you just apply a little pattern matching, I mean, if you just think in terms of matching patterns in what you see and English, you can make it out for yourselves. Okay, it's not difficult to learn, it's very easy, it is easy to read. That's even more, the syntaxes are so simple that if you think in terms of English also, you can make it out. Okay, it has a lot of libraries. What is libraries? So let's put up this small example. If I am a car manufacturer, okay, if I make cars, so ideally, do you think my expertise in making cars, do you think I would manufacture the tires also inside the factory? Ideally, does Audi manufacture the tires themselves in the factories? Do they do it? No. Why don't they do it? Yeah, because somebody else has already gained that expertise, right? They have gained that expertise and they are good in that. And when somebody can create that product for you, why do you need to break your head on it? You simply get it from them, integrate into your car and sell the car, right? That is what package is all about. You are building a car, okay? You are building a program, a product, okay? if you are not too good in understanding how to implement, say, some machine learning library, why do you need to reinvent the wheel? That's what Sumit is saying. Okay, you really don't need to reinvent the wheel. If somebody has already implemented, say, how to use linear regression, why don't you use that library directly? It's a it's a standard library. All you have to do is download it from the internet and then use it. So that is why Python is so simple. There are millions of people who have contributed to Python to make it this popular in the world today. Okay, you think of statistical packages, you have it ready. You think of visualizations, you have it ready. You think of anything and you will have some package that does it. Okay, so having said that, there is interactive mode, there is regular, I mean, I would call it terminal mode. It is portable. You can run it across any platform, say it Windows, you can run it in Linux, you can run it in Unix, you can run it in whatnot. You can run it in all platforms. Okay, extendable database support, everything is, I mean, Python is so easy. GUI programming, scalability, all these things are readily available. Okay, so it is very simple in terms of understanding as a language. So let us start thinking. So today I know a lot of us are non-programmers, and today we still have that mindset that I am going to work in Excel. Okay, I am totally okay with it. I'm not forcing you guys to move out of it. But what I'm trying to explain here is, please give it a try. Give a small attempt at learning Python. Okay, try it out because it's not too difficult. I'll show you a very good hands-on at the end of this session, and you guys can for yourself vouch for it. Is it really relevant? Is it really good? Okay, and why Excel is not going to help you in the long run. Excel is a good tool. Excel by no means I'm going to undervalue Excel. Excel is the best tool in the world, probably by far. But the times are changing. Excel will not be really applicable when the data crosses a million row. Today, how many of you have tried running Excel analysis on 1 lakh row of data, 100,000 rows of data? How many of you have actually done it? So I have a lot of managers. So can managers really come up and tell me what kind of analysis have you done on 1 lakh rows of data? Yeah, obviously it crashes. I mean, Excel kind of it behaves weird. It just cannot take such kind of data. Yeah, we can use SQL as well. Yes, Subham, but again, SQL, how fast is SQL? Okay, SQL doesn't run fast. So let's accept the fact. Let's not run away from the facts. Just because Excel is easy, I'll use Excel forever. Let's be honest. Today you are dealing with 10,000 rows of data. What if it's 1 million? Okay, so by no means am I undermining the value of Excel. No, Excel is a very good tool, but there's a big but that's attached with it. What will happen in future? So let us accept the fact Python or R is like the new Excel. Okay, these tools are like the new Excel of this world. In future, if you got to be that analyst who can take out insights from data like this, you got to be really good at it. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Python is open source. That's something which I missed saying. These are all open source. I mean, this is by far the best, I would say, open source tool I've seen. It's really powerful. It is open source. You don't need to purchase licenses. Okay, all you have to do is install it and you're ready. Get the data and run it. Yes, R Python is open source. SAS is paid and it's very expensive. What you can do in SAS, you can do in R and Python also. So let's move forward. So okay, yeah. So I've been holding on for some time. I've been holding all of you for some time. Yeah. So Vibe says a very good point. Visualization is also not good in Excel. Okay. And let's see, Vibe. I think you have given a really important point. SPSS is also paid. So let's move to an important point that I want to discuss with all of you today. Are you guys able to see an Excel sheet? Let me then try it once more. So let me share an Excel sheet with all of you. So just let me know once you guys can see an Excel sheet. Wonderful, wonderful. So guys, you have to help me today in this. I mean, this is a serious business analytics case that we are doing right now. So I need help from all of you. Okay. I have this data of Starbucks India. Okay. Now I wanted to understand how is Mumbai performing. I want to find out how are the stores in Mumbai performing. You can see I have store ID, I have the store name. What is the name of the store? I have the brand, it's Starbucks. I have the store number. I have ownership and other stuffs. I have street address 1, street address 2, city Mumbai, state Maharashtra, country India, postal code, longitude, latitude, and whatnot. I have a lot of things and some footfalls. Okay, I have the footfalls. This is really important. What do I do? I want to find out how Mumbai is performing. So I see few people have got the right answer. It is do a pivot table. Okay, very nice. So after you do pivot, what do we do? So this is for all the folks who come from totally non-programming background. It's a simple Q&A that we are doing. If you had to analyze this data, how would you have done? I create a pivot table. Okay, I have these footfalls across. I will filter on all the Mumbai data. I'll filter on all the Mumbai data. Okay, and then what do? I count the variables and the effects. Wonderful. And we can summarize based on location, necessary data columns, and sum and average or both. Okay, so you guys are absolutely right. Okay, brilliant. I mean, this is by far the best analysis that we could come up with. Excel. But beyond that, do you think we can do something better? Can you come up with something better in terms of graphs? How about creating some graphs from the pivot data? Yeah, in pivot chart, what kind of charts are you planning to show? Yeah, kind of you can come up with good bar charts, very good. Scatter plots, as in maybe may not be footfalls, we can show it in bar charts. Yeah, definitely. Scatter plot, no, I don't see really great use of scatter plot right away. Pie chart, maybe you would want to use pie chart in terms of what kind of country, footfalls are there in some locations. But again, let's put it up this way. You have so many varieties, you have so much of options. Is it really making your life simple or is it making complicated? So somebody says simple, but mostly it is complicated. Okay. I'll show you a small tool. I'll show you a small implementation. Okay. Charts is simpler. It is simple. It is easy. It is very good. I'll quickly show you a small demonstration. Okay, of a particular code. For non-programmers, I would ask them, please see if you can make any sense out of this code. If not, it's absolutely okay. Don't worry too hard on it. But let's say I am focusing on Mumbai. So this thing, location, it is Mumbai's coordinate, Mumbai center coordinate. Okay, I'll speak in English. I'll not speak in Python. This is Python, by the way. But let's see if I can speak in English by reading Python lines. Okay, so map of Mumbai, I know what are the coordinates. Okay, you guys have noticed this, right? We have something called as a coordinate here, longitude, latitude, coordinates. So let's see if we can use them in Python and come up with something better than what you can do in Excel. Okay, so wonderful. I know what Mumbai has. What is the longitude of Mumbai? Longitude and latitude. Let me iterate over the entire data. So I kind of have some 16,000 rows of data. Let me iterate over the full data. So I'm going to iterate over the full data. I'm going to collect every day's footfall, Monday to Sunday. what was the average footfall, okay, from Monday, what is the average footfall, on Tuesday, what is the average, Wednesday, what is the average, and so on and so forth. I'm going to do some range. I don't understand what is this. Let's move forward. That's okay. There's some bar that I'm going to create. Okay. So I see something called as dot bar. Okay. So if I come from a total non-programming background, I can make out that there's some kind of a bar chart that is in the process. It's there in the pipeline. Maybe Suchit is hinting on something called as a bar chart, a bar graph. Okay. In the axis, what he does, he says x-axis is day of the week, and y is the footfall. So maybe there's some kind of a bar chart, there's some kind of a map. So people with non-programming background, are you able to follow it? There's some kind of map involved, there's some kind of a bar chart involved. Okay, you have selected all rows which have values of Mumbai, not necessarily Divakar. I'll show you why. Okay, so till here I hope all the non-programmers are able to follow. Okay, so this is spider, this editor is spider. So for non-programmers, this is simple English that I'm going to speak. Till here I have spoken about some map, and there's some bar chart that Suchit might be working on. Okay, then there's something which I don't understand right away. It is called as 2JSON, bar.2JSON, vega.json. Let's skip over it, not an issue. There's something called as you are adding a pop-up. Okay, you are adding a pop-up. Now the moment you understand using a package, your life becomes much simpler. Okay, so the Excel is referred here. It is a CSV file. You are reading the CSV file, you're storing into this variable, then you are iterating over every row. You're iterating over every row. Okay, let's come to this part where pop-up we discussed. Okay, and then there's something which is important here. Now comes in your first level of programming analytics. Okay, you're kind of adding some kind of a programmatic analytics. So I'm saying if the footfall, okay, if the average footfall across the week is above 2600, let's focus on this line. If sum of the list is above 2600, and this is pretty easy to understand, it's broken English. If sum across the full week, okay, of footfalls is above 2600, if you don't understand this row, no problem. See what is different. What is different between this row and this row? The thing that is different is the color. So if it is above 2600, you're basically giving a style. You're giving a color to the graph. So red represents that there's a lot of footfall. Green represents there's lesser footfall. And finally, I store it into some HTML. So today my report is going to be HTML and no more Excels. Okay, we are not going to speak in Excel terms. So this is what probably how many 17, 18 lines of code. Yeah, are you guys with me on this? Yeah. Okay. So 17, 18 lines of code is good. I mean, it's good. But what next? What did I try to achieve out of it? I probably figured out Suchita's kind of reading the CSV file, storing the data, kind of thinking of something on a map, iterating over all the data points. Then there comes in some bar chart. There's some pop-up, and there he's doing some kind of a filtering on the color. So ideally, if I run this program, it creates a HTML file. Okay, so let me see. So here we have the HTML file. Okay, it's 10.6 right now in my system. So we have created a HTML file. Let me open it for all of you. So what do we see here? What are you guys seeing here? This is a map, right? It's a map of Mumbai. This is a location map of Mumbai. Now, is my report more presentable compared to Excel? Do I like my report better than Excel? Right? Those 17 lines of code, it has given me a great way to understand the data. I can see directly where it is. And yes, we are zooming in. Just hold on for a second. Are you able to explain your data much better now? compared to explaining in Excel? Yes. Let's dig a little deep. I told you I want to see what Mumbai is contributing. What are the performance in Mumbai? The red ones are what? Above 2600 footfall. What are the green ones? They are below 2600. So I, as a manager, okay, it is very important for me to understand where there are a lot of reds. Why should greens exist? Let's focus on this particular area. Okay, I'll zoom in. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's zoom in. Okay, yeah. So we have zoomed in. Are you able to see the zoomed in version? This is a Goregaon area, Goregaon Malad area. Okay. So somebody asked, do we need GIS information? Do we need to study GIS? That's what I said. As when you're using Python, leave the experts to do the better job. I'm not a GIS expert. What did I use? I used a package named as Folium and Vincent. Okay. So Folium helped in the pop-up, Vincent helped in creating the map. Okay. Yeah, so it is possible in BI too. So that's where Antix comes in. Either you can do it in Power BI or any other paid tool. I mean, there are a lot of paid tools where you can do the same thing. Okay, but the power comes in when you can do it in code. Okay, you can do much more things much easily compared to using ready-made tools, because more or less ready-made tools are going to be expensive. If you have the option to buy a ready-made tool, very good. If not, this is one of the way you can use it, Python. Okay, so let's come back to the analysis. We are analyzing Starbucks. Okay, I see Mumbai Goregaon area. I see there are 3 reds, okay, which are really good performers. Let's see what happens when I click it. I get the actual footfall. Okay, those 17, this is all the 17 lines of code. I'm not doing anything beyond that. What you're seeing is the output of those 17 lines of code. Okay, this is the flow. So Lakshman, I'm not sure if you can do it in Excel. I've not seen this kind of mapping in Excel. If anybody has done, they can probably enlighten us. But coming up with this kind of report in Excel, I think it'll be really difficult. Okay, so anyways, now this is one way to see that this particular Malad Infinity Mall is performing good. But what is wrong with this place, which is Malad In Orbit Mall? There are 2 malls which is pretty close to each other. As a manager, does this strike anything in you? As a manager, as a person who wants Starbucks to prosper, they are 2 malls pretty close by. Then why is one good, one not good? What is so weird in the other one? Does it ring any bell? Okay, so obviously I'm not expecting an answer. I'm not expecting an answer from you, because now comes in the point where you are going to think deeper, right? You're going to think deeper and come up with insights. Okay, you got to come up with insights why this difference is there, and that is where Antix will come into play. Okay, maybe this is newly introduced, people are not aware of this outlet. This could be one reason. Okay, as a manager, your thinking process is now totally changed. You have used tools to make your life much simpler. Okay, so you see here, I was discussing about Mumbai. Now if you had done the same analysis on Excel, how about, tell me, how would you do for every city for where Starbucks is applicable? What would you have done? Or rather, how difficult would it be if you had to do it for every city in India where Starbucks is there? It would be very difficult, right? I would have been able to do some number calculations, come up with insights across India, but then it would have been very difficult. I would have to do a lot more effort, put in a lot more effort. Okay, I wouldn't say it's not possible. It's totally possible, but the effort goes in a lot. Let me just zoom out for you. I have done analysis for across India in 17 lines of code. Can Excel beat this? And 17 lines of code you have across India, you have analyzed the stores for Starbucks. You can now zoom in into Delhi. Okay, zoom in into Delhi, see what Delhi stores are performing. Now you can make it more complex. You can add a lot more parameters to every field that you see here. On every outlet, you can add more graphs. You can do whatnot. Okay, there is a lot of things that you can do. So Tarun, we tried this on R also, but we found Python has a better mapping. It has a better visualization compared to R in this case. Okay, so anyways, so guys, I think this was an important part that I really wanted to share with all of you. So I think we have crossed the time by a big margin, and Kunal is here. So guys, I'll open up the session for the Q&A so that we can actually get started with the Q&A. Meanwhile, let me just get back to my presentation. Yeah. So can we have the questions flowing in the Q&A section? I'll not be reading chats. I would request you to put in the Q&A questions in the Q&A. It'll be easier for me to follow up. So I request all of you to put in. Yeah, please put in your questions in Q&A. Okay, I'm working in the field of engineering. Okay, operational experience. So I couldn't see any question, but okay. Yeah, I'm in testing domain and want to switch to big data. How should I prepare? So as I discussed right at the beginning of the session, ideally we recommend people coming from non-programming background to start with, say, business analytics, or if they're interested in a little bit heavy coding, maybe data science is also what they would really love to get ahead or get into. But having said that, maybe business analytics is somewhere you would like to get in. Big data involves a lot of coding. Okay, it involves you to know a lot of tools where you have to code day in day out. So please make it a point that big data you are ready to code, then only you should enter that field. Okay, what opportunities for freshers? No one hires freshers. So ideally, I mean, I wouldn't say no one hires freshers. To hire a fresher, the company is looking out for what they have done till date. Have they been able to do what their fellows have not done? Have they done something which is really different? Are they so if you are from the same herd, okay, how will they distinguish? So you need to stand out. You need to come up with such kind of analysis. You need to come up with great insights. Okay. So please make it a point that we all contribute. Okay, we all study, we all learn new things, and at the same time apply and showcase it to the world. Okay. Does non-program also need to work on algorithms to become a data scientist? Anybody who's doing data science has to work on algorithms. Okay, if you want to be good in data science, you need to work on algorithms. And yes, in the initial phase, use ready-made stuffs, but in the long run, you may want to add to it. You may want to improve on it. Today, I mean, if anybody is hungry, they can very well buy a burger. Okay, now the person who's making the burger, that person does not really need to make the patty himself. He purchases the patty ready-made. But what differentiates that burger man from a really good outlet, which is like they call it the family burger people. So they kind of have a family history behind the burger that they serve. They make their own patty. Okay, so if you want to be that niche kind of a burger seller, you need to create your own patty. You just cannot use the same patty that every other vendor is doing. So in that case, you should understand how to work with algorithm when you are a data scientist. It is one of the core ingredients. So Nishant, you can Google up, you'll get the Vincent data, okay, Vincent information. Can we use advanced modeling like clustering, segmentation, predictive analysis using big data technologies like Spark? So Tarun, yes, definitely Spark has come up with PySpark. Okay, PySpark helps you do a lot of these things. Okay, on Spark itself, you can use Python and do all of these things. So definitely Spark in the big data world it's growing very fast. It is evolving very nicely, and it is one tool that is fixed for future use. I mean, it's going to be great in future. But all is possible because you had good quality data and probably data massaging was done. So AJ has asked a very good question that you could come up with this insight because you had the data already done. The data was prepared. So ideally, as a data scientist or a business analyst, we have to understand what are the challenges with data. If the data is not being captured properly, tell the big data engineers to ideally capture it properly. Okay, or you can have engineers create the data in the way you want. Okay, so the onus lies on you as a interpreter of the data to tell the other people what is the format of data you want. If it is not there, as an interpreter, you have to create that. You have to tell this is how I want the data to be. If somebody else is doing it for you, good for you. If not, I would highly recommend you to be hands-on with coding. You got to understand how to clean the data. As a data scientist, we end up spending 50 to 80% of our time only on preparing the data. And that is why it is the most important point in data science. You have to be really good in preparing the data. So only concern is about some programming for totally non-programmer, which you just shown. So the only concern for people who come from totally non-programming background is please shed the inhibition of being afraid of code. Python is simple, okay? Maximum things are already packaged, things are ready-made, available. You got to get started, okay? You got to get started with it. If you don't give it a try, maybe you would have never learned Excel. Today, a lot of us are working on Excel, though we are not computer people. We are not computer science people. But we only are able to do it because we tried it. Okay. So I would highly recommend all of you to give it a try, because if you do not try, you'll never understand the essence of these things, which companies don't prefer. Why companies don't prefer freshers in analytics? So Shubham, I wouldn't say Mu Sigma is one such company I've seen that has a lot of freshers for its analytics stuff. Okay. So it is very important for you to understand that how do you stand out from the crowd, how do you show people that you have the capability. And for that, I keep on repeating, please do a lot of pet projects, please do a lot of such projects, and come up with some kind of a presentation, show it to people, open your GitHub account, create a lot of projects, do it. Okay, showcase it in a very good way. It should be really subtle. I mean, you just cannot have some crappy code that people will see and understand, okay, this guy is good. You got to present it. So you got to present yourself. You are trying to sell yourself to companies, so you should be good at it. What are the basic learning is required in data science job as a fresher? So Chaitanya, as a fresher, I would highly recommend you to get started with understanding statistics. Okay, statistics is something which you guys can easily grasp because you're fresh out of college and shouldn't be too difficult. Apart from that, you would be like to learn Python. Okay, you want to be a little smart in Python, and then start working on a lot of projects. So I would keep repeating this point whenever I see this question, that you need to do a lot of open data projects. There are a lot of open data. Go to Kaggle, go to Analytics Vidya. There are a lot of such competition, a lot of projects, a lot of data. Use that data, work with that data. What is the difference between big data, data science? So I have already explained it in today's session. Big data is the technical side of the field, where you are going to use tools to store your data. Somebody has to capture the data before you get into data science. How do you capture the data? That's why big data engineers, they are the ones responsible for you to capture the data and store it. Okay. Then you may want them to filter it also. So they can probably do the pre-processing part, clean the data, and then send it to you. The coding demo which we saw just comes in data science or big data. So Anjali, ideally it comes into analytics. Okay, how analytics has become effective by using Python and not Excel. So in 17 lines of code I could understand, and this I showed only India. You could have done it across the globe. The actual data set is across the globe. I just cut down the data set. I made it small for easy running purpose. The heavier it would have been, the slower it would have been. So just for demonstration, I cut down it to only India. That 17 lines of code, you can do it across the world. So Dharmesh says he has 16 years of experience in sales and marketing. How do I translate into business analytics? So Dharmesh, you already are working in some kind of analytics. Okay. If you want to know how to make it more scientific, then certainly look into courses that offer business analytics. Okay. You need more statistical tools to improve on the way of your working. Okay. So ideally, Dharmesh, you already have been working with a lot of data. You have been analyzing data, and you are already part analytical person. So you don't need don't really need to call yourself a non-business analytics guy. You are already half business analytics guy. All you have to know is few really important subjects such as statistics. How do you use statistics to make more smarter decisions? Okay. Yes, Thames Tableau is important. It is pretty hot in the market. A lot of people prefer it. Though Tableau public version is free, otherwise it's kind of a little expensive. How important is it to learn Hadoop? My skill sets are mostly R and Python, Spotify, BI. So S Shah, if you are interested in the big data part of the story, if you want to be the technical guy who creates that infrastructure where you can not only store data but utilize it and also probably help in future to process the data and make sense out of it, maybe you would want to get into big data technologies such as Hadoop. But if you are only the guy who's going to analyze or only going to use the ready-made data for your machines to learn, then maybe data science should suffice. Okay, either analytics or data science. So the question lies, what is that interests you? Do you want to get into the big data world, do the technical part of the whole stuff, or do you want to be the analytical guy who's working on analyzing the data, or do you want to be that technical guy, semi-technical guy who's enforcing all the learnings into the machine and making the machines do it? So Anurag asked, can you suggest good places to start working on a small project on ML? So Anurag, as I mentioned, Kaggle and AV both have, these are great platforms. They have a lot of data with them. Please start using it. So please use these data which are ready-made, which are readily available, and work on it. I'm studying mechanical engineer. Can I get a data science job? So Aditya, I think you can visit our YouTube channel. You'll see a lot of interviews that we do with real world consultants, people who are already working in this field. I personally know a few people who come from chemical background. So we had a session with a guy from Harvard Business School. So he transitioned himself from chemical background to a data science even after doing his MBA. I mean, he's an MBA from Harvard, but still he's a data scientist. Okay, so it's not about what is your background; it is about what is your passion towards this field. If you really want to do it, you can do it from coming from any background. How does a 5-week, 10-hour session help? So I'm not sure, Subhashi, what sessions you're referring to, but ideally, if you are speaking about UPX Academy, then it's a 6 month duration. So we split the entire data science life cycle into 6 months. The business analytics is spread across 6 months. Okay, so I'm not sure about what you're speaking, but if it's about Apex, we spread it over 6 months. I am from non-program background. I've enrolled for DS course for Apex. Hope I've not made a wrong choice. So I would say it's up to you to understand that if you are interested in data science, you can do it. Else, if you want to move into business analytics, that's also okay. But how closely are you associated with the language that you're going to work on? Are you able to make the machines work for you? Okay. So if that's your passion, that's your interest, you'll definitely be able to crack. So I had students who come from absolutely non-engineering background. You are speaking about non-programming background. I have students who have come from non-engineering background. So let's not worry on that part, but let's worry on the part that what is that interests me. So is Python similar to SQL coding? Not really. SQL coding is it's a little different, but Python is more easier to understand and comprehend. Python is more like broken English, so it shouldn't be really difficult. And okay, so one more thing I forgot to tell Abhijit. Abhijit, there's an info session this Saturday, and for everybody. So everybody, there's an info session that we are organizing this Saturday. This is especially for people who want to dig a little in depth as to what is there on offer. I would highly recommend all of you to attend this session. Go to Analytics Vidya page. On any article at the top, you'll see we have promoted a small banner. In that banner, if you click, you can go and register for this session. Okay. So you would get any further queries which are not answered in this session. You'll get it there also. Okay. I would like to know whether the field of data science is fully matured or is it still infancy. So obviously, Ricky, if it had been matured, then there wouldn't have been so many job openings. There wouldn't have been daily so many updates. People are constantly working on improving algorithms. People are constantly working on things. If it had been mature, then you wouldn't have seen such kind of a dynamics in this world of data science. So it is really in the infant stage. It is evolving. It's growing pretty fast, and it's only going to grow. IDs, you can choose one which you like. It doesn't really matter. I have basic knowledge on R package. Okay, do I need to learn Python to learn long-term basis, or should I continue with R? So Anurag, if you are good in R, that is also good. But if you want to get into deep learning, right now the package support for deep learning in R is pretty limited. So ideally, if you want to get into advanced machine learning and deep learning, definitely I would recommend Python. But if you are only the person who's doing statistical analysis, R should be good enough. So I have 12 years experience in .NET. Want to move to big data platform? Please suggest a relevant path. So Parag, I think 12 years is a good amount of experience in technology. So I firmly believe big data wouldn't be really difficult for you to grasp. But what is important is you need to have a structured approach in learning big data. So you can visit our website upxacademy.com, go to the courses page, you'll see the learning path. Okay, so you can see what are the topics that you need to learn as a big data specialist. Okay, so follow that path. So ideally you would want to know those topics, and you would want them to be in your portfolio when you want to land up a job in this particular field. Our data science involved in building data tools, or just understand data in various way? What is the everyday work like? So YouTube has one very good video, a daily glimpse of a data scientist. Okay, it's kind of I forgot the name, but it's just Google it up, you'll get it. So a day's life into a data scientist or something. I forgot the name. So if you just Google it out, you'll get it. So watch that video. That's pretty interesting. You definitely have to build data. You got to build data products. But before you build data products, what is really important for you to do is you need to understand the data. So the first thing in any data scientist job or life is how good do you understand your data? And that's what I said. You end up spending 50 to 80% of your time in any project on data science just for analyzing the data or improving the data. Manoj says, if I get well versed in Python alone, will that be manageable to do things in data science? Absolutely not, Manoj. In data science, I showed an image which had three things. One is computer programming, one is statistics, and one is domain. You got to be at least good in two, if not all three. All three you will get over time, but you have to be at least good in two. So the three things are computer programming, which you might call Python R or whatever. The second one is statistics. Okay, and third one is domain. For bringing in new data science. So yeah, definitely. I mean, with the growing years of experience, the contribution that is expected out of a person obviously will grow. So are you prepared enough to work at that level? So at 7 years, if you want to become a data scientist and you expect you'll be asked question which freshers are able to answer, definitely that job is not for you. Okay, so you got to push in a lot of effort. You got to put in a lot of effort. I mean, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's not going to, these are not easy cookie cutters. I mean, you got to put in huge amount of your effort. Things are not going to be really simple and easy. It'll not be served on a silver platter for you. We have to work it out. Okay, so please make it a point that we put in a lot of effort, because there's something new that we are learning, and if we don't put in our effort, who else is going to put? So life science, pharma, not a programmer. What approach should I follow? SaaS is widely accepted in pharma. So Abhinav, I told you, it's just a tool. SaaS is expensive. It's not open source. So you, if you go outside and learn SaaS, I mean that's something which you can do. But ideally, do forget the tools. What is really important is, did you understand the logic? Do you understand the foundation? You need to understand the framework. That's more important. Is degree directly promotional to salary? Okay, I think Sumedh meant proportional. So Sumedh, it depends. It depends. I know people who have done engineering and they earn in 30s and 40 lakhs. Okay, per annum in India itself. I'm not speaking in USD salaries. And I know MBAs who are earning in 4-5 lakhs in spite of having number of degrees. You tell me, is degree proportional to salary? You have your answer. I'm an MBA grad with 5 years experience. What companies I could look at after BA, after business analytics, if I understand correctly. So ideally, what we suggest is, if you are apprehensive about this field, you want to venture out into this field, but you are apprehensive. You are kind of a little shy of moving out into the market and figuring it out for yourself. Try it out within your company. Okay, you learn these things. Try it out within your company. Try to apply these things within your company. There are thousands of ways which we can do these things. We can use these things, but we don't use it. So figure out where I can use analytics into my day-to-day job. Apply it, see, and you'll understand the essence of these things. Slowly and gradually, you can definitely make a move within your company itself into so more analytical roles. And eventually, you might want to float out your resume in the form of an analytics person and not a different person. Okay. So once you have done it for yourself in real life, you will get a lot more confidence on how to deal with such kind of environment. Uh, how big data technology like cloud data distribution different from SAP suites of analytics and HANA? So Sumit, again, there's a small confusion here that you need some clarity on. Big data technologies are not directly equal to SAP suite of analytics. Big data technologies are first relevant for you to store data. How do you store such enormous amount of data? The technologies that go behind it is what big data technology has to offer. Okay, so you might use any distribution for that. It can be clouded distribution, it can be Hortonworks distribution, it can be MapR distribution. But if you want to do the next job, which is understand the data, then maybe you would want to use ready-made tools such as SAP and HANA. SAP HANA. How much in-depth must we know about statistics and algebra before we start with data science? So Srinath, ideally, it's something which there's no right or wrong answer to this. But when you are doing a scientific course, okay, when you do a course, you should have it in a structured way. So when you do this course, you got to follow a structure. You got to follow a particular route. Once you're thorough with that route, you will know how much in-depth is required. And just for starting off, you don't need to be experts. Okay, and experts do not become overnight. You have to put in a lot of effort, and with time, definitely yes, you can become good at it. So right from day one, there's nothing called as this is the in-depth that I should know in statistics to get started with data science. No, you can start from basics, okay, but build it over a period. Nobody becomes an expert overnight. So ideally, I think there are a lot of questions. Okay, I got to. Okay, guys, if you are putting in chat, I may not be able to answer them. I would request you to put it in the Q&A. Okay, there's a Q&A tab that you can see, and I kind of answered only half of it right now. I have to pick up a little pace, or we are not going to end the session soon. So let me just follow up on the questions. So now how the hands-on is given, there is access lab or participants. So ideally for data science, our systems are more or less sufficient. Okay, our regular systems. If you are getting into deep learning, maybe if you are not doing image processing, maybe with 4 GB to 8 GB you can still suffice. But if you are working on image processing, you would need GPUs, and that's kind of a little expensive. So ideally, you would want to look into all those things also before you get into any kind of course. What is basic learning? Okay, that's covered. What is Kaggle? Okay, Kaggle is a website where it's something like Analytics Vidya also. I mean, Kaggle is more focused towards competitions. So you get a lot of good data sets in Kaggle. So please work on it. So we have somebody asking about most of the jobs in data science require experience, and for a non-difficult to land in analytics, what are the requirements to land a data science job? So Arunim Das, first decide you want to get into data science or you want to get into analytics. Okay. For either case, if you think it is really difficult to land a job in the market right away, why don't you get started within your company? Build a profile. You got to build your profile. Nobody will give you a job because you have done some course or because you know the subject. Okay, they would also want to see what you have contributed. If you have contributed to some open source, very good. If not, have you done some kind of a pet project? If not, have you done it in your company? So the first thing always comes to the company. Have you done it in your existing job? can you convince somebody that yes, I have used it in my existing job? After that, I'm pretty sure you can prove your worth. Okay, that's only a matter of words to prove your worth. Okay, I'll take few more questions. So guys, pardon me if I cannot answer all questions because we are running really late. And please attend this session that we have on Saturday. So go to AV Antis Vidya site on any blog. You'll see at the top. You'll see UPX Academy. What I would recommend is just kind of register for the event. It's free. And Manav, who's the CEO of UPX Academy, he'll be answering a lot more questions on Saturday. So in case I miss out on a lot of questions, please feel free to join the session. Register first because otherwise you won't get the link. So you got to register before you get the link to that session. I'll take a few more questions. I am a recent graduate from engineering and I'm holding an offer from Accenture as software engineer, but I want to get into analytics or data science. I have participated in AV and love doing that, but I have no prior experience in industry as data science. What should I do? Should I reject offer from Accenture and go for analytics? Okay, so this anonymous, I don't know if he or she has not put in his or her name. So let's say there's no link on AV site. Let me just share the link with all of you. So I'll just share the link with all of you. So this would be the link. Anyways, so I think if Kunal was there, Kunal would have definitely asked you to send your resume to him. So ideally, there are a lot of companies who want freshers. Why? Because today data scientists, senior, I mean the experienced folk, they are asking for exorbitant salaries. Okay, not every company can afford them. So maybe you would want to look out for startups where they'll give you that platform to get started. So please do. If you really love this field, I would highly recommend you to give it a try. I mean, if you are not really interested in taking up risk of quitting your Accenture job, it's okay, but give it a try. Keep trying. You'll definitely get through. Okay. You'll find a lot of people who are interested in giving you a chance. I'm working as a lecturer. Okay, willing to change domain of data science. I have knowledge in econometrics, statistics, mathematics, Vikar, Python a little bit. Is it okay? So Manju, I think as a lecturer, definitely you have the basic knowledge. Okay, and I would say you have knowledge which is probably more on the theoretical side of the story, but you need to know from the practical world also. So how are these things helping in practical world? Ideally, you have two options. You can go for research. Okay, you can go for companies which are research oriented. So Mu Sigma could be one, and or any kind of marketing research company which are more on the research side. Or the other one could be product side. But if you want to get into product side, you need to know how to use it in real world. So please read a lot as to how these things can contribute in the real world. I'm working as a okay that I did. So Shabas says, do we need to learn C, C++ or data science? No, Shabas, that's not necessary. Python it's called as a de facto language in data science. If anybody has to prosper, make a good career in data science, C and C++ is great to get started. I've completed my, it's Python, which is great to get started. I've completed my MBA in finance this year in business analyst using R will help me, or I will go for data science. So Satyabrat, I would recommend you to first take the conscious decision. Which one is more interesting to you? Do you like making machines talk, or do you like making data and numbers talk? And then do you like presenting it? Are you a good communicator? If you that's true, if you want numbers and data to talk, and you'll be the medium, you will be the person who's going to convey that story. Business analytics is great. Okay. If you are the person who is more interested in working with codes to make your machine smarter, then data science is a great place for you to get started. Okay. Um, so a lot of people ask that, do I need to do PhD and MS to get into the field of data science? Ideally, I would say, see, in the initial phase, this is an evolving field. It's in its nascent stage. Okay, it's very difficult for companies to justify investment on any person who does not hold an educational degree in that particular field. So that's one of the ways to prove that you are eligible for this job, data science job. Okay. What are the other ways to make yourself eligible? When you do hands-on, when you apply these concepts in your company, when you apply these concepts in your pet project, when you apply these concepts in Kaggle and Analytics Vidya. Now, if you guys are aware, we had Fractal Analytics picking up people from Analytics website, Analytics Vidya website, on a competition, based on a competition. Okay, so if you are able to prove your worth in the competitions, companies will notice you. So you got to be very proactive in promoting yourself. How do you prove to the world that you are capable of doing it? The easiest way, which for employers to hire people, is to see their degree. But degree doesn't prove everything. Not every PhD guy has a good hands-on on data science. They might know a lot in depth about a lot of algorithms, but when it comes to real life implementation in products, they might not be as good as a person who's working in that field for say 10 years, 15 years. That person might have better visibility as to how he can use machine learning to come up with a brilliant product. Okay, so please understand this from a perspective of a new technology that is getting traction, that is becoming popular. Okay, um, so I'll take the last two questions. It's pretty late into the night, and it's kind of, I had a long day. In case I miss your questions, please feel free to drop us a mail at info@apexacademy.com. I'll be more than happy to answer your mails. But at this moment, let me just choose two quick questions, and let me try to help you out in that. So what is happening on 12th August? So 12th August we are having an info session, okay, at UPX Academy. Again, we'll discuss a lot of information as to what these fields are, what are the things that it has to offer. And 19th August we start a new batch. So batches for data science, batches for big data, batches for business analytics, they're kicking off at our academy from 19th August. So before that, we usually help people understand what these fields are all about, how does it contribute to you and your life, in terms of how suitable are you at all cut out for these fields. Okay, so maybe on 12th August you would like to see this particular webinar by Manav, who's the CEO of Apex Academy, and he'll help you understand a lot of things which we may not have been able to cover in today's session. Whether Python alone, okay, this is answered. What tools do we use to clean data? So AJ, there are enormous, I mean, n number of tools. In big data, you could do it using, I mean, in Spark itself, you could do it, or you could do it in Hadoop itself. If you're speaking about data science, Python, R, I mean, there are n number of tools. I mean, there's no shortage of cleaning tools. Okay, there are a lot of tools that will help you clean. So somebody is working in agricultural retail startup, very nice. How machine learning can be helpful, as we don't have enough real data. What dummy machine learning insights could be put forward to management? So if you are working in agriculture retail startup, okay, I need to understand a little more in depth. But if you are working with the farmers directly, okay, if you are working with the farmers directly today, if you would like to dig in a little deep, today our machine learning is helping people analyze how their plants, okay, what quantity of fertilizers does a particular plant need. So you are trying to optimize the way in which you are applying fertilizers. You're trying to optimize the way you are applying pesticides. You got to be very specific. Only if there's a particular part where you see insect is infested, you might want to only spray in that part. So today machines are using machine learning and deep learning to become smarter. I don't keep applying pesticides all over the all over the farm. I would like to do it in only specific areas, only the areas where it is causing problems. Okay, so as a machine learning person, you can help farmers, you can help guide them. If you are more interested in your business, which is the retail part of it, how you are selling it, maybe you would start like collecting data. Okay, you would like to collect data about customers. If they are buying something, say vegetable A, how often do they buy vegetable B? you would like to start recommending them whenever they are purchasing vegetable A and B. If the current growth of some vegetable is really good, okay, and it's in plenty, maybe you would want your machines to change their logic and start sending out recommendations of these vegetables as a offered price. These are cheaper. These are vegetables which we are giving huge discounts. So likewise, you can do a lot of things. You need to tell me what exactly you are doing. Then maybe I can suggest you even more stuffs, more in-depth stuff. So ideally, there's no limitation in the way you can use it. There's absolutely no limitation. Should we consider all our efforts to building good projects on GitHub? Anurag, definitely. I mean, I would really recommend all of you to create projects, work on it, promote yourself. You got to sell yourself. How do you sell yourself? You can only sell when people are convinced that, yes, this guy is good enough, he can do something. So how do they understand that? By looking at what you have done. Okay, I'm done for the day, and it's getting really late, and I'm sorry to keep Deepika also waiting for a long time. So Deepika, can we close the session now?
Thanks. Sorry.
Yes, sorry. I what I'm saying is, can we close the session? I may not be able to take all the questions
Yeah,
pretty
we can
late into the night.
definitely close. Thank you, Sachin. Thanks for such a wonderful session, and thank you, everyone. We appreciate everyone being here.
Yep.
Thanks, and
I mean,
thanks again for
I
joining.
would thank Antics Vidya, and I thank all the participants today. It was great interacting with all of you, and I really enjoyed it. And definitely, please feel free to send out any kind of questions that you might have. And thanks a lot, Deepika.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay.